Now let us talk about Unstop and case competitions. Currently, you are ranked 12th nationally among competitive B school leaders. That is massive. So, what's your strategy before you enter any competition? Now, having talking about your win, I am sure that just like every other winner, you must have faced losses too. So, was there a particular competition that you lost that taught you something which was revolutionary for you? Hey everyone, welcome back to Skill Sapiens, where we don't just talk careers, we explore journeys that defy limits. Today's guest isn't just a rising star, she's a galaxy of purpose and pure brilliance. As we say, excellence isn't just an act, it's a series of brave and bold choices, and our guest made plenty of them. From being a national finalist 50 plus times to winning 11 top tier case competitions, from holding the India Book of Records for the longest debate to getting her innovation for women's safety published by AICTE Vishwakarma Awards. Her story is anything but ordinary. She has interned at DRDO, worked as a marketing executive, currently interning at ITC Limited in trade marketing and distribution, and also ranked fourth in Unstop's B School Women Leadership. And if that wasn't enough, she's also the co founder of SEVA, an NGO she's been running with her mother for the past 15 years, transforming the lives of underprivileged children. Everyone, please help me welcome a powerhouse of purpose and performance, the incredibly dynamic Srishhti Milind.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Reed. It's my pleasure being here.
Thank you so much, Srishti, for coming here. And after your introduction, I'm pretty sure that our viewers are intrigued. So I'll get right into it. Now, Srishti, you are someone who wears multiple titles: a national ranked B school leader, a mentor, a batch topper, and now an intern at ITC. But before the titles, who is Srishti Milind? How would you define yourself without the accolades?
I think Srishtiman is the person who never gave up. So whenever I talk about myself, I always say that even if I fail or I win, I'm always winning because I'm never giving up. And that's somewhere I define Srishtiman, the person who won't give up.
That's truly candid, Srishti, and I think that is the key to success. No matter how many failures you face, you just never give up, right? So let us start with ITC. It is a dream company for many, right? And you have just begun your internship. But what about the process to get there? What do you think really helped you to crack the selection process?
Okay, so ITC is my dream company as well, and I really wish that I end up taking the PPO. So my journey of ITC started with a case competition that was being held in Kolkata. So we all flew from Delhi to Kolkata. It was a long journey of multiple rounds. And that's the reason I love doing case forms because it has been very rewarding. And it was amazing. Like there were a lot of entries, more than thousands, and then they end up selecting top 20. They brought them to Kolkata. Then we were pitching our ideas. And I think the key to ITC is that you understand the grounds. What helped me crack this case competition was that I actually went into the market. A lot of people try to skip this part about market research, but when it came to me, I divided the entire Delhi map into east, west, north, south, central, and then I visited shops from each region. And I made sure to understand the point of view of the customer, the retailer, the wholesaler, and what is the factory trying to do. And I think that broad view is what ITC really, according to me, looks up to, that you try to work yourself on the grounds.
Totally. I mean, I think the ground reality is way different than what people see in the boardrooms. And until and unless you have an idea of what works at the ground level, you cannot make a boardroom decision. So kudos for that. And I'm sure you've been doing a great job. Now, are there
I
any
think I, I like to add by saying that ITC always rewards if you work hard. So to anyone listening that out there, if you work hard, you can.
totally. Now, for your preparation, are there any specific strategies, whether technical or behavioral, that you follow? Did you plan anything such for ITC? And how early did you start your preparation for cracking these competitions?
Okay, so when it comes to behavioral, I would say that you're supposed to understand the hierarchy of powers here, and you're supposed to work according to that. You are supposed to learn and unlearn at the same time. So sometimes you might feel that, somebody who's not supposed to come and tell you to correct yourself might come up here and tell you that, what, you can correct yourself. At that time, you have to remind yourself that, okay, I'm a learner. And there's always a possibility that I have done some mistake. And once you start having an open mind towards everyone, that's where I feel you start learning. So that's something I've always had in me, thanks to my mom. So I think I was always open to anything that somebody comes up and tells me. And it's not necessary that the other person might be right, but there's nothing wrong or there's no harm in considering it for a while, thinking about it, and then you can go up with your own approaches. Except for that, I think I was just trying, as every other student would, trying to study as much as I can, trying to be on my toes all the time. So I think that's similar with others.
All right, I think very truly put together that you have to keep an open mind to everything because you never know where a great idea might come from. So, very true. And thank you so much for opening our minds as well. Now, let us talk about Unstop and case competitions. Currently, you are ranked 12th nationally among competitive B school leaders. That is massive. So, what's your strategy before you enter any competition?
Okay, so and this is a self-made strategy because like this year itself, we were only three students out of the top 100 who were from first year. Except for them, everybody was from second year and they somewhere got it from their seniors. But my strategy is pretty raw and I made it myself. So I would say that open your eyes as much as you can. Try to talk to people wherever you go. I am telling you, listen to these podcasts because you don't know what might click and help you someday. I am an extrovert. I love enjoying talking to people. And when I tell you to talk to people, I'm not telling you to talk to people only at the top hierarchy. I'm telling you to talk to people like all around. You can go and talk to a labor someday out there, and you would understand that what is the actual problem. Then you'll be able to catch the problem, and then you can bring the impact. If you don't talk to enough people just because you think that it might look bad on you, or some people might think that you are too talkative, I think that's somewhere you are losing. So be too talkative, throw yourself out on this world, and just talk.
I think you truly spoke like a strategist right now, Shrishti, because to bring about a change, you have to know perspective from everybody's point of view, right? You
Everybody.
can't just restrict it. So you truly spoke like a boardroom person, a chairperson, right? Now, can you break down for us one specific win for you? You have multiple wins on your resume, but can you break up one case where your team was different, your take was different, and how did you approach it?
Okay. I love so many of them. It's so rude to pick one, I'm telling you. Okay, I have to be really cautious about this one. So I think I would pick the one which was my first B school case competition, and that was Exhilarite Jamshedpur. We were the winners, and it's closest to my heart because it was my first. So there was a very huge problem about the strategic setting. And I won't go into much details because that you'll find it all over my LinkedIn. I discuss all of the cases over there. But over there, we ended up finding a very smart solution. So we ended up building an application for optimization for the workers. So we were actually trying to help, like it was a delivery sort of thing and supply chain system, and we were trying to optimize it using the references from Uber. So just the way Uber does it more optimizingly, we decided for that company to do it more optimizingly. And it was a very long, lengthy case competition, and we survived well. But I would say that if you want to read more, you can definitely come out to my LinkedIn. It's on my name, Srishhti Milind, with a double H. And it has a lot of decks also. And I've recently started posting decks as well. So there was another case competition in which so there was a cold chain supply. I think it will be easy to understand for everyone. So cold chain supply, we were sending ice creams. So how will you send ice creams in an easier way? So I came up with the concept of Brucks. This was my idea, and Brucks is the old buses that we refurbish and convert them into trucks that will have solar panels. So, for example, this is your bus. It will have solar panels here, okay? And from those solar panels, due to heat, it will get charged. There will be EV buses. So those solar panels will be used to drive the bus as well as keep the containers inside the pool. So, such ideas keep cracking your head if you think through. So that's how we do it.
That was really, insightful. And I lost myself into it for a second. I did not want to continue with this podcast because it was so intriguing listening to you. And I'm sure that everybody who follows your decks or your strategies will definitely learn how to open their minds as well. Thank you so much for this insight again.
So
Now, having talking about your win, I am sure that just like every other winner, you must have faced losses too. So, was there a particular competition that you lost that taught you something which was revolutionary for you?
okay, so I always say this that they always say that what I'll do if I never win. I guess we'll never know. So I haven't lost enough to comment on that. Like, because I'll tell you what I do. I think the only way you can protect yourself from not losing is understanding to not have more than you can digest on a plate. So a lot of my friends come up and say me that you win all the time, and how is that possible? And how it is possible is because I know what to exactly keep on my plate. The win ratio is really high to tell you a particular loss that affected me because there aren't any one that did. But if I have to conclude it for you, I would like to say this that, for example, there was this one case competition in which I had to attend my very good friend's birthday the next day. And it was like, it was clashing so badly that either I could have been there for her at the night at 12 o'clock, cutting the cake with everybody who is there. And I'm a close friend, okay? Else, the other option was that I do the case competition. And I tell you, it was so heartbreaking for me that I was just there for a minute at 12 o'clock. I just wished her I ran back to my room. I was doing my case competition. And after my case ended, I did win. And I got a hefty prize money. The first thing I did is from that hefty prize money, I got her a hefty good gift. And I went with a big cake, flower, and a gift and a big apology. And the best thing is that when you do such grand gestures and people see you working hard to actually support you, so sometimes you will feel very bad about not giving your people sufficient time or picking among things that are really important to you. But you got to understand if you want to win and not lose, and one of the biggest learning of not losing is that you should understand what to put on your plate at the right time. This time, you have enough time for right things. Just know what to do when.
Correct. So, I think you really solved one big problem for everyone is what not to do, right? Once you
Yeah.
figure out what not to do, it's very easy to understand what to do. That was really a great strategy again. Now, for every case competition that you participate in, how do you choose your team? Is there a formula
Hmm.
for your team synergy that you follow?
So, I'll be very honest with you. We actually go on making friends. So, how I make my teams is that I want those people to stand by me when the times are tough. I want those, well, when I especially, usually it's me who picks our teams. And when I pick my team, I make sure that, if I call this person at 12 o'clock at night saying that this has to be done right now, will that person be willing to do it? Because most of the people might know. And sometimes these case competitions, and like this is a very worst case scenario that I'll be calling at 12 o'clock. I won't be. What we do is we follow very procedural schedule of assigning work and then letting everybody work on their own pace. But my whole point is that if the boat is having a hole and there's water coming in, I want the team to be at its 100% to put the water out. So that's how I select my team. One is, of course, friends. I need because I'm sure that if I have good bonds and if things goes down, they'll be standing right next to me, and I'll be standing way more in front of them getting the bullets. So I think that's how we pick the team. That all of us, like, if a bullet comes, if a mistake happens, I think My team is like this, that we'll be standing in front of each other, protecting each other like a shield. And that's how you are supposed to pick a team. Sometimes your person cannot be the best strategist or the best marketing person of all time, but I believe in believing in people, normal people, and the belief that I have in them make them do things and achieve things which are beyond. So I always say this, that it's not about the person, it's about how much that person wants to prove themselves to you. So that's how I pick my team.
Correct. You really made me put on my HR cap right now because I think more than the technical skills, what's important is the accountability and availability of every person. And that's where, trust comes in from. So very true. Now, being a woman, I feel that this question is very relevant to you and to every woman watching this. Have you ever felt the need or the pressure to prove yourself more, be it in competitions or classroom? And how exactly have you responded to it?
I feel that yes, there is a pressure not to feel that you're more, but actually equal at some places. But if I'll be honest, like in today's time, men are suffering way more than women. I'm sorry, I'm putting it out. But I truly feel this, that, you know, somewhere it's not about being more, it's just about being equal in the start. And it does happen everywhere that sometimes, women won't be seen as efficient. So I remember a very logical conversation happening among me and my friends, that I don't know if I should put it out here or not, but women menstruate, and for that they actually end up being a little uneasy for that 1 week. And if we actually calculate that to an year, it's almost like a month or something that they are not very efficient. So if we actually see it, that yes, women might not be as good as men if we see their body actually in that way to work. But I have seen women who are housewives, and then they go start to having a job, and then they're handling their house and their job. And so, like my mother herself, she had her job and she was also raising me, and I've been a good raised kid. So, if I be honest with you, I think women are capable of doing way beyond than what the entire society, including other women, think of them. So, I don't think it's about men versus women, it's about women versus herself.
Very true. I think I am a firm believer of this. Who better an inspiration than my own mother? Because, I think every time I look at her, I just feel I don't need to prove myself because I'm her child, right? And I am capable of doing everything she does. So, very truly spoke. I think this is something every mother and every daughter will relate to. Now, talking about, let's just shift gears and talk about your academics. We know that you are the number one rank holder at IMI New Delhi in your batch. And you manage your academics with so many external commitments, right? And that is not a joke at all. What is your system? How do you manage your time, your energy, your mental peace? How do you do it all at once?
Okay, so like this is something I'm going to just put it out, and I'm being very honest. You really have to connect yourself with spirituality. I don't mind if it's your own religion, or if you don't follow any religion, you can just start meditating. But it really helps. I won't say that I have been meditating for hours. No, I hardly sit for 5 minutes. Hardly. That too, days my mom keeps saying me that, today you gotta sit, Srishti. It's been a week, you have not meditated. And then I'll be like, okay, I have to do it. But somewhere, if I'll be honest with you, Reed, in this journey, for this almost 1 year, I was at least giving 5 minutes on average every day. And I would say that it does not do magic, but it does help you. And it helps you in ways I cannot explain until you experience it yourself. So I don't mind if for you it's going to mandir, or if for you it's going to dargah, or for you it's going to church, or for you it's going for a park walk, or for you it's talking to your parents. You have to find your source of energy. And if you cannot find anything, I think you are the best source of energy for yourself. Sit with yourself, and you will eventually know that you are an awesome person. Like you will fall for yourself. You start sitting with yourself. So I think for that reason, I always say that a little bit of spirituality, a little bit of good self-help books. Now, this might sound very typical, but just try reading a self-help book and you would know that it can actually change you. It will help you a lot in a longer run.
Very true. This reminds me that of this saying that sometimes the solutions are right there in front of you. You just have to have the eyes to see them. And I think spirituality is one context which has lost all of its meaning in our generation. And bringing that back with this podcast, if this really helps somebody, I think that is the aim that we have, right? Now, talking about academics, you've also been mentoring students, right? So, why do you think it's important for you to share your experiences so soon in your journey? I mean, you have your life ahead of you. What made you start it so soon? And has there been any particular feedback that you received from your students which really made it worth it?
So I think when I started, in all the journeys I've ever started, I never had somebody for me. And I used to always wish, like, if I had the right person, no, a lot of time would have saved. And when I look back at it, I feel that I really want to be that person. And when I be that person, I can't tell you how much joy it brings to me. So I really enjoy it. It really makes me happy. So I have been running an NGO for the past 15 years with my mother. And we used to teach kids there as well. But, those were kids. I could not see the results at the very moment. Like, of course, they would score good at the end of the year, but it was very niche and it was just their fourth, fifth, sixth class students. Here, when I came to college, I started mentoring kids who are trying to, students who are trying to get into good colleges, or I have been mentoring people to crack their interviews for colleges and also maintain their CV and also make, of course, the decks and the canvas for their case competition. And I will tell you that it brings me so much joy. Like recently, day before yesterday, I got a post from a student of mine, and he wrote such a lengthy post on LinkedIn, and he mentioned me in goals and stuff. And he keeps thanking me every now and then on my contact email and everything. And then still he had to go beyond that and just write a post. And I recently shared it, and I was so happy to see him achieve. Like he told me that before me he was trying for a year to crack a national case competition, and with me he recently cracked three at once. So it has been a great journey for him. And I tell you, when he cracked it, I was the happiest person on the planet. Like my smile didn't go off for the day. And usually I don't do that with that day. I just ended up making a talk meet with him that you just talk for 10 minutes when I want to be so happy and I was just gonna listen to all of it. So I think that connect when you feel that, you can give back and you are that capable. I think it's all God's grace that God is giving me. So I feel it as the obligation that I must give back. And I absolutely say it's not me. I can just show the direction. It's the students who really put in their efforts in achieving. And I think all my role there is to be there and smile because it does make me happy.
I totally, agree because even I myself have faced the situation that maybe if I had someone, in a generation where we have plenty of resources available, we still end up saying that maybe if somebody helped me at that particular moment. And being that one person is truly very rewarding. I think looking at you, it really makes a lot more sense to me now. Now, going forward, I want you to mention one person, be it a public figure, a family, or a peer, who you draw your inspiration from, and especially in moments when the times are really tough for you.
Okay, so that would be my mother. Her name is Jayashree Trivedi. And so my mom has been in that 1997 Delhi parade. So she was the one who was leading the parade. She's got the best cherry blossom all India. She was Miss Gwalior. So she was beauty with brains. We used to work very hard in RDC. 1997 was her RDC parade. And she has received awards from the president and prime minister at those times. And uh, she has been a power pack, and somebody like her is somebody you think that she'll always succeed in life. She had scholarship to study anywhere in the world. Like she had the best opportunities of all time. But then she had a very critical health condition, and she has been on wheelchair. for a very long time. And then now she has started recovering and things are going very well for her. Now she's fine, God's grace. But to someone like her, I remember a point of time when I was very young and she couldn't leave the bed. And she hasn't left the bed for months. And at that particular day, I had an exam and she had a drip going on. And I missed the bus. I came crying and I was like, कि अब तो छूट गया exam करके. She got up after 2, 3 months. Suddenly, she leaves the bed. She takes me to the car. She makes me sit. She tells me to hold that thing. Like, this is gonna seem very filmy, but this did happen. Okay, so she told me to hold the bottle thing. So we hanged it on the that mirror. What do you call it? That the mid mirror in the car. So we hanged it over there. She drove me to the school. She left me and she told me that you better score well in this one. I went, I scored well. I don't have no idea how did she manage her way back home. But when I was home, she was there. And I think I would have never done that. Like, if I think of it, I would have rather told my kid that it's okay, you can give a retest or something. But I think that very day, she taught me that you must not give up. Whatever comes, you don't give up. And I think that is something that stayed for me. I remember before a debate, I was very scared. I've won a lot of national debates, but it has been a year that I didn't participate in any. And I told her, ki, Mama, I haven't done any from a year. Like, how will I do it? How will I achieve? And in those days, I was menstruating. Like, it started and I was in such a pain. I was like, Mom, I cannot do it. It's not possible only. And it's such a huge prize money, such a huge competition. People from, it was all Rajasthan. And let me tell you, people of, it was a Hindi debate, and people of Rajasthan have the best Hindi of all time. And I was like, Mom, it's not possible that I'll be able to win it. And she just said me this one line कि अगर शेर शेर का बच्चा कुछ दिन दहाड़े नहीं तो दहाड़ना भूल नहीं जाता. And I was like, all right, she's not gonna let me go. So I did. I went, I participated, and I got the first position. The very, very, very hefty prize. So I would say it all landed well, but I think these are the after stories that you guys always hear. But you don't know what happened behind the scenes when I was actually all crazy. So she is my inspiration. She's the one who's holding me together. Uh, I think all I have in my life is that I know that I have to prove this to this woman that I do good. So I think, and about that, I would say that, something very nice is that I never had Sharma ji ka beta, in my life. Like, there was no Sharma ji ka beta. She never compared me with anyone. She always compared me with me. She always said that the Srishhti Milind can do better. And like her nickname is Dolly. So I remember she naming her Facebook account Dolly Milan. Just so, every time, and she used to write this like this, that, Shishi Milan, the daughter of Dolly Milan, did this. And I think that is the motivation that okay, life is going good.
I'm truly in awe of everything I just heard, and all I can muster up to say is now we know where you get it from. You truly get it all from your mother, and I mean, hands down, respect to your mother for being truly an amazing person. Before a woman, she's totally an amazing person, is all I can say right now. Uh, all right, this was a very emotional sentiment to the both of us. I think even listening to you got me there. Let's just change the gears a bit, and I will be giving you a few leadership challenges, and I need you to share with me what will you do first in that situation and why. So the first situation for you is your team lost a competition. I'm sure it's a little difficult for you to imagine, but try and envision that right now that you lost a competition which you were certain that you'd win. What is the first thing that you say to them?
I'll be honest, I'll take them to a corner and laugh. Okay, I'm not kidding you. I'll be like, I knew someday Rome is gonna fall down in today's I think I'm gonna laugh and then I'll just go and I'll actually want them, I'll take them on a treat. I'll just want to get off it ASAP out of our bloods because, the faster we move on from the fact that we lost is the faster we start analyzing that why did we lose. And I'll be happy to see someone above, like, I would want to understand that what did they exactly do and learn and try to draw lines from there. So I think this is something I would definitely, and actually actually be okay with it. Like, I'll be honest with you, Reed. I understand how life rolls and I'm okay with it. I'm okay to lose. Is it that as long as I'm learning out of it, I'm okay to lose because that's still a win. That's what I always say.
That really is the spirit that a lot of people need to have because losing really makes everybody, get out of that edge very easily. So keeping that sanity in check is very essential. Now, the second situation for you is you have an exam the next day tomorrow at 10 a.m. and you have a competition submission at midnight. What is your plan?
I'm sure if there is exam tomorrow, I would have studied before. Like I study every day. That's how I work. And if, like this is not gonna happen, but okay. In case let's assume I was sick or something and I couldn't do both. Then I think the best case scenario would be that I'll try to put a deadline. Like, for example, I would like to put a deadline that by 1 o'clock, I'll complete the entire preparation of the case competition. And then from that, from 1 to 4, something I'll study, and then I'll sleep for a few hours so I can do well in the exam. And I think that would work. And that has worked in the past. So I know it's a working trick.
I think the division was very fair and very, honest as well. So one last situation I have for you. Imagine you have two offers for you on the table. One is driven by passion and the other is driven by prestige. What is your decision-making framework?
I would go with prestige. I belong to a family who has been freedom fighters. My great grandfather was a big freedom fighter, Mr. Jagannath Prasad Milind. He has his poetry all over there. He's very famous in Madhya Pradesh. So I think to us who have spent all of their wealth in getting this country freedom, would always choose prestige because I always say this that my friends say this that if your great grandfather wouldn't have spent that time, you would have been having a Ferrari right now. And I always tell them that you know what, I can buy a Ferrari myself, but the sort of honor that it brings me to carry my surname Milan, which is a title that was given to him, I think this is everything to me. And if I could go back, I would tell them to do it again.
Lovely. I mean, all of your responses have really instilled, you've touched every aspect, starting from leadership to thinking as an HR to emotions. Every aspect of a wholesome life has been covered for me. One last question before we put an end to this. If you have to complete the sentence, if you remember me as someone who, what would you say?
If you have to remember me as someone who would always try to help people and who would always motivate you to do the same. And when I die, you would listen that I was the biggest philanthropist of all time, of all time. That's how I put it.
That was, I think, really wholesome. And listening to everything that you said right now, I think everybody who's been watching this will definitely agree to this. Everything that you're doing, you're giving out to the community. More than your achievements, I think what makes you great is how you share them with people, right? So thank you so much for joining us today, Srishti. I'm sure every listener, especially young women, are walking away a little braver and a little stronger today.
I would like to say that what's greater is that you guys conducting this podcast and letting people like me give an opportunity to put ourselves out. And I don't think I'm doing anything great. I think I'm just doing the very little. And you all are actually motivating me to be a little more than just to. That's it.
Thank you once again,
Thank
Srishti,
you.
and thank you. And to all our listeners, thank you for tuning in to this episode of Skill Sapiens. If this conversation moved you, made you think, or simply made you smile, don't forget to share it forward. Until then, keep learning, keep building, and as always, stay curious.